3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since I've done a video, but I wanted to showcase my product as well as do an install, a quick install on everything and all you get when you order from me. I want this to be able to be quick and clear for you guys. If you guys have not purchased a Marquee from me and do not know how to install such a product into the Arcade 1-Up cabinet. I want to say that I want to first start by thanking everyone for the overwhelming demand on my product. I really appreciate you guys showing me love and welcoming me into the community. It has been such a great honor, and I appreciate every little comment and statement you guys have put out there, whether good or bad. I appreciate them all. So I've decided to make these videos. It's going to be like a 3-part video to show you exactly what it takes to install one of my Marquees, exactly what product you're getting when you order from me, and also how to install the harness as well as the remote. So if you guys have heard me ask you when you place an order with me, whether your Arcade 1-Up is either stock or modded, what I am referring to is whether you have modified it in the sense that you changed the CPB board on there to add either a Pi, an Odroid, or a PC. Now the reason I ask you guys that is so that I know what kind of wire setup I am giving you with my light up Marquee, and make sure that everything is running smoothly and working perfectly. So let's begin. Now, when you guys order from me, you guys may notice this white box. This is where my Marquee will come in to you guys. Okay, I could actually fit about 3 Marquees in here, possibly. And if you guys order 3, more than 2, you get a discount on the 3rd one. Private message me about any type of prices or situation, but I'm going to tell you exactly what you're going to get when you give me more information on your cabinet and your type of setup. Okay, over here I have a dummy cabinet that I built. Okay, and it's a stock cabinet. What it is, it's not modified. I have not put no type of Pi or Odroid or PC. It's a basic stock asteroid cabinet with the power supply running through it. I've done nothing else on this, and what we're going to do today is we're going to add one of my light up Marquees, and we're also going to do the wire setup so that you can see more or less what you're getting when you order from my company and my Marquees. Okay, so let's begin. What you're going to get is the white box, and the white box is going to be fully loaded with a couple of things. Now when you place an order with me, my few questions will be, is your cabinet stock or modified? And you're either going to know whether you put a Pi or an Odroid or a PC in your cabinet, and you will have that answer for me so that I can know more or less what kind of wire setup I am going to give you with the Marquee. Now, if your Marquee is not modified, meaning it's stocked, what you're going to get when you purchase a Marquee from me is, of course, the light up Marquee, which is the Mach 3 Marquee. Okay, and the reason it's called the Mach 3 is because it's the next generation Marquee from the Mach 2, and this one is a universal Marquee which will fit in the old gen cabinets as well as the new gen cabinets, like the TMT, the Marvel, and the MK Costco cabinet with the speakers in the front. This is modified for those as well as the Gen 1. When you get the Marquee, you will also get a light up strip. depending on which Marquee you got, whether it's for the Gen 1 or the Gen 2, your light up strip will be completely different in the sense that your connection will be different. On the Gen 1, you will have a female connection, okay? On the Gen 2, you will have a male connection. And you guys will know, you guys will understand this when you have the cabinet, and you know why. The Gen 2 cabinet with the male connection require an adapter, okay? Will require an adapter. Let me zoom into that. For that LED strip, okay? So you will have the male connector, your adapter, and your connection, and boom. This will fit on your Gen 2 cabinet. The TMT, the Marvel superheroes, and the Costco Mortal Kombat. Okay? Now we'll get more deeper into that Marquee in a minute. Let's go and do the Gen 1 as for now. So you got your LED strip, which will come on an L bracket, which will be easy to install, with 2 strips of 3M tape on one side. Let me move this in. 2 strips on one side and your LED strip on the other. And again, your female connector. Alright? And your Marquee. Right there. We're going to put a Pac-Man Marquee on an asteroid cabinet. Okay? Now, you've heard me ask you whether your cabinet is stock or modified. This will tell me, you will tell me, hey, Angel, I have a stock cabinet, and I will ask you then, do you want your cabinet to turn on your Marquee at the same time with your stock power switch? And if you tell me yes, I will supply you with this harness. Okay, it's a harness cable which I've created. It's not the prettiest thing, but it's very effective. Okay, and some of them may be different, but they will do the same thing. Okay, depending on what I can get in stock when I restock my products, you know, it'll all depend on the look. It won't be always the same, but it will more or less look the same type and do the same thing. Now what it is, it's a male and female connector on one end. Okay, a male and female connector on one end. Okay, on the other end is a JST connection. Alright, if you guys see this, let me zoom in as best as I can. And this is a 2.5 millimeter JST connection. Thank you for DIY Retro Arcade for helping me figure this out. But that's what's on the other end. You have the female and male connector on one end and the JST connector on the other. Now this connection here on this end separates like this. So you have a female and a male. Now I'll further explain how this works when we connect this to your control panel. It's not that hard, and it does require a little disassembly, but we will definitely get this working. Okay? Now, when you tell me, Angel, I have a stock cabinet and I want the power switch to turn on and off the Marquee, you will get that harness. As well as the harness, you will also get some hardware. Okay? Which will come in a baggie like this. And the baggie will either say R, H, or RNH. Now the R stands for remote, the H stands for harness, and if they're single letter, it's either you got the remote setup and the harness setup. Now let me explain. When you have a modified cabinet that has a Pi, Odroid, or PC, you do not need the harness cable. This harness cable is only for stock power switch cabinets. Meaning if you're not modifying it with any of the other above, which is a Pi, the Odroid, or a PC, you will get this harness with your setup. If you did modify your cabinet, or if your cabinet is already modified, you can go for the remote directly, which will give you the feature to turn on and off your cabinet, as well as dim the power switch and do some other effects like strobing or anything, you know, that's pretty cool and interesting if you want. But that is if you got your cabinet modified. You will only get the remote setup. Now, you can use the remote on a stock cabinet with the harness, okay? But you cannot use the harness on a modified cabinet, okay? If your cabinet is modified, that means you have another way of turning it on and off. This harness is only for a stock cabinet that is not modified. A non-modified cabinet will get the harness, but the remote will work on either or, a stock cabinet or a modified cabinet. It's up to you. It's an extra $5 when you have a stock cabinet and you want the remote. It's automatically included in the price if your cabinet is modified. That means you won't get the harness, but you will get the remote automatically with your price. But it's an extra $5 on a stock cabinet, and you want the remote with the extra features. I know that sounds confusing. Again, the harness is only for a stock cabinet that is not modified. You can use the remote with that, or you can use it with a modified cabinet. Again, I'm sorry if it's confusing, but that's kind of like the way I have it set up. And if you need further explanation, you know, don't hesitate to contact me. I'm always answering messages. I'm always online on Facebook. My phone is always active, so I will be able to answer any and all questions if it gets confusing. Alright. Also, you'll get your new hardware screws. These are at 7/8 of a length long. You do not use your stock screws on your Marquee. You do not use the stock screws. You will get brand new screws, which are about 7/8 long, number 10s, and these are the screws you're going to use to replace the 2 screws for your Marquee. Okay? Also, you'll get a wire connection, I think I'm going to call it. What this does is it holds the wire for your LED light on your H panel, and I'll show you further how to do that when we do the install. Okay? Now we have almost everything. I think I've explained almost everything. So you got your harness. Let me zoom out again, like playing in and out. Your harness for your stock cabinet, your LED strip, your Marquee, your hardware, okay, your remote, and your receiver. Now your receiver cable may not always look the same with every order. It all depends on when I restock my item. As long as I can get the same type of product to do the same type of work, it may look different on certain orders, but it will be the same effect. So don't get discouraged if what you see in this video does not match what you have. It will look similar if it's not exact, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take this cabinet and we're going to replace the Marquee. So let's move this table to the side for a little bit, okay? And let me situate the cabinet a little closer. Alright. wanted to do this exactly the way you're going to do it. So what I'm going to do is, okay guys, so what we have is the asteroid cabinet, alright, completely assembled. Some of the screws on here are already pre-loosened because I know you don't want to see me just tightening and removing screws. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the back panel. Okay, I've already removed the screws here, and what I did is I added some Velcro so that I can use this cabinet every time I want to take it on and off, on and off. So what I'm going to do is pop off the side panel, okay, the back panel, I'm sorry. And what I did is I've added some Velcro here and some Velcro here, so it's easy to remove and put back on. Okay. Now also, your cable should be connected. Your power cable. This is still a brand new cabinet, so I haven't connected it. But this power cable should be connected to your PCB board. Okay. What you're gonna do is you're gonna remove that. You're gonna remove your back panel. Okay. We're gonna put this aside for now. Put that there. Alright. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a Phillips screwdriver. Okay. And what you want to do is you're going to remove the 4 screws on the top. Okay. You have the L panel, which is this board right here. Okay, that holds the back panel, the F panel, which is the back panel. And then you have your H panel, which is your big giant black panel on top with the Arcade 1-Up sticker. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to remove the 4 top screws only for now. We're going to remove the 4 top screws only for now. So these are already semi-removed. So I'm going to take this out. Now remember, if I can do this, you guys can do this. And I have a bad hand. I have a bad trigger hand here. So if I can do this, you guys can do this. Anyone can do this. It's pretty simple. So we're going to remove the screws and put them aside somewhere safely. These are already pre-loosened so that I'm not wasting time just screwing and unscrewing screws. You got the 2 top, very top ones, which are on your Marquee. So you're going to remove those. And I'm just putting them aside for now. Now remember, this is my test cabinet. I will be probably using this cabinet for a lot of tutorials. So we're going to not worry too much if I beat it up a little because it is just a test cabinet. Alright, so you remove the 4 screws. Alright, you got your 2 top screws on both sides. Okay, so you remove them. Okay, let's put the screwdriver right here. What you want to do is apply a little separation pressure on the side panels. Okay, you're gonna do a little bit of separation pressure so that you can remove the L panel and the H panel. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna position myself in a way that I can do this and just slide that L panel inward. See, what I did was I separated a little and pushed it in, not even, that was the wrong way. You want to go outward with it, okay? So once you go outward with it, okay, you got one side off and your L panel, alright, is removed. We're going to put that aside for now. Now again, you're going to do a little bit of separation and you want to remove the top H panel, which is the one with the Arcade 1-Up sticker. So you want to remove the H panel. It's a little beat up. That's fine. That's your H panel. It's got the letter H. And you're going to put this somewhere inside the cabinet for now. And what you have left, okay, is your B panel, which is your marquee. Okay? Now your marquee has two screws that attach itself to your A panel, which is your monitor. Alright? So you have two screws. If you guys can see that, let me move it a little closer. Alright? You have the two screws on the top. These are already pre-loosened. So I took some of them out. I'm going to take more of it out. Take them out. You're going to remove those two top screws. Okay? And that holds the bottom piece of your marquee to your monitor. And you want to remove those two screws. Okay? And you want to put them aside. You're going to take that out. Take both of those and put these screws to the side. Try to put all your screws in either a plate or a bowl or something, or just keep them safe so that they're easy to access when you're putting everything back together. Okay, so now you remove the two screws from your A panel, your B panel from your A panel, alright, which is your bottom wood from the marquee to the monitor. So what you're going to do is apply a little bit of separation pressure again, alright, and you want to remove the marquee. And what your best bet is to move outward with it and just remove it completely. There you go. And you got my dowel. My dowels got stuck left over, and oh, they're falling. And you want to do is remove those dowels. Keep them safe somewhere. All right. Now, once you remove your marquee, your major part from the original marquee is that bottom wood panel. You need this bottom wood panel, okay? Because we're going to put that on the new marquee. So let me position myself back to the table. Let's slide the cabinet over. We're done with it for a second. Alright. Let's bring back the table. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your original marquee. Let's take the original marquee. Alright. And your new marquee that you purchased from me. Alright, let me zoom in a little so you guys can see. Alright, so what you're going to do is you take your new marquee and your original marquee and we start combining them together. What you're going to take is your Phillips screwdriver and you want to remove the 3 screws off the wood panel that's on your original marquee. Okay? The 3 screws here. 1, 2, 3. And you want to separate that bottom wood panel from your original marquee. Okay? And we're going to do that. There you go. You have it there. Now you can take your original marquee and either put it away or even get like some kind of frame hangers and put it in the middle and just hang this up on the wall, and it'd be a great wall art, you know, and you can save that if you want. This one actually came a little beat up, which, you know, what can you do? That's why we're replacing it. Alright, came a little beat up, but you could always take your original marquee, put some wall hangers and hang it up on the wall and display it on either your game room area or in your garage like I do, and you have it there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put your original marquee and put it away. We don't need it anymore. Now we got your new marquee, your light up marquee that you purchased from me, and you're going to notice 3 holes in the back. Alright, let me zoom that in for you. you're going to notice 3 holes in the bottom back. Okay? You're going to notice those 3 holes. And what you want to do is put that panel that you removed from your original Marquee, alright, let me zoom back out, and you're going to put it on the bottom of your new Marquee. Now, how do you know you're doing this right? Well, your white panel has to be up, okay? You also have a slanted groove on this panel, so it has to be in an angle upward, okay? But most likely you need your white facing up, alright? So what I do is I start with the middle screw first. And these holes on the new Marquee will take these screws in perfectly. But you don't want to over tighten, okay? You want to just put them in a little bit, put that middle one in a little bit, and then work your way from the left and right. Then once you got them all in the hole, then you could tighten them up. Do not tighten all one at a time, and do not over tighten. Just make sure all 3 are in there, and then work your way again from the middle. And you can just use your weakest hand to tighten it, and it's just a basic tight. Not over tightening it, not forcing it down. You don't need to do any of that. Once it's on there, it is on there. It won't come off. I'm using my weakest hand right now, which is my left hand because I'm a righty. And that's it. And you got that wood panel on your new Marquee. Okay? And boom, you're good to go. Alright? Now we're going to take the new Marquee and we're going to put it on the cabinet. So let me position myself again. Here you're going to have to be a little bit extra cautious because you do not have the dowel holes on the new Marquee. You just have the one hole for the screws. Okay? You don't have the dowel holes to help you hold it in place. Alright? Which you don't need. So, what you're going to do is you're going to take... Remember, you're not going to use your original screws for the top of the panel where the Marquee was originally. You're going to use the new provided 7/8 number 10 screws that I give you. Okay? And you're going to start with the top sides. Let's do that first. That would definitely help in my case. And what you're going to do is you're going to screw them in semi all the way. The holes will be pre-tapped and easy. There you go. Got one in. Let's do the other side. You don't want to over tighten them. You just want them in there for now so that you can do the bottom screws first. Well, after. And again, I want to thank you guys for all your support and all the great comments and love that you guys have given me and accepting me in the community. I really appreciate all that. I mean, it's been an overwhelming adventure, but it's been a good one. I love the fact that I'm capable of doing something that helps the community, the Arcade 1-Up community, and I really love the fact that you guys have welcomed me in. Alright, so what I did was I semi-screwed the 2 side screws. And I hope you guys are seeing all this. Alright, and the Marquee is movable right now. So what you're going to do is you're going to start doing the bottom. I start putting that bottom piece, screwing the bottom screws onto this. Okay, you don't want to over tighten them, but you do want to make them feel snug. Alright, so now we got the 2 top screws up and put on there. And you got the bottom of the Marquee attached to your A panel, which is your monitor panel. Now you can go ahead and tighten the 2 top screws. It's okay to do so. So what you're going to do is you're going to tighten that up with the new provided hardware. And the reason I went with 7/8 number 10 is they're not too big and they're not too small. And you don't have any screws showing on the side of your Marquee. So you know it's in there, but you do not have it showing. At first I was doing an inch screw, and some of that screw was showing, and you didn't need that. So what I did was I went with 7/8, and they make it right there, and they go right in just as good. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna tighten the 2 top ones. Do not over tighten. I know I keep repeating myself, but once you feel it nice and snug, you're good to go. Okay? So there, the Marquee is in there nice and snug. I can enjoy it. Look at that. Alright, now let's go with your H panel. Your H panel is where you're going to put your LED light. Let me position myself on the table again so we can see that. Let me move this over. Okay. Let me position the table so you guys can see what's next. So you got your H panel, alright? And this is the part where you want to put your LED lights. So you're going to take your LED light, let me zoom this in. Alright. On your H panel you have 2 grooves on the very top. Okay, they look like L cuts. On the very top of the side. You know it's the top because it's on the very top of your Arcade 1-Up sticker. But you want the inside part, not the outside, the inside part. So that's the inside with a white area where you got the letter H is where you want it. Okay? Now I've purposely put the LED bracket on the L bracket in this position. Why? Because when you put this H panel back, the wire falls. When you're facing the back, the wire falls on your right side, which is where your connection is on your PCB board, on your right side, when you're looking at the back of the cabinet. So I purposely did it like this so that the wire is on the right side. I know it's weird, but there's a method to my madness. Alright? And as a matter of fact, yeah, that's right. I did it the way I wanted to. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a ruler. Alright? You can take a ruler, measuring tape, whatever you want. I could use a ruler, I could use a measuring tape. It all depends on what you have. What you want to do is go from the very top of that L cut, alright, and go 2 inches down. Other people have been putting the LED light on the bottom of the Marquee area down here. You can do that with this as well. Okay. Probably not, maybe, because of the L bracket. But it's totally up to you. What I do is I put it on the H panel. Alright? If you guys prefer it without the L bracket, please let me know ahead of time. And I will send it to you without the L bracket. But I put it on the H panel. And it's going to be 2 inches from the top down. And you want to center it from left to right. So you take a ruler, measuring tape, whatever. And you're going to mark. You're going to mark it 2 inches down. Okay? So you can take a Sharpie, a pencil. Alright, look, I got a piece, I got a ruler, I got a measuring tape that I cut. And I did it so that I could have like a quick reference measuring, and it's no more than 20 inches long. So quick and easy than having a measuring tape and having the pain of that. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a marker or Sharpie or any kind of pencil, and you're going to mark 2 inches. You can mark 2 inches here, and we come over here, and you can mark 2 inches there. And in the center, you can mark 2 inches. So you got your 2 inch all across. Alright? And what you're going to do, like I said, is you're going to take your L bracket and you're going to stick it around that 2 inch mark. And you're going to center it from left to right. I mean, if you want to get very technical, you can measure it. And I think the H panel is about 18 inches long. And of course, half of 18 is 9. So what you're going to do is you're going to mark 9. And that's your middle. On your LED strip, you count 5, I think. So you count from the, let's say from the wire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your center. Those set of boxes. Right there. Let me zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about. Alright. What you want to do is from the connection. Is it over here? No, here it is. From your connection. You want to count the boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your center. So what you're going to do is you're going to line that up with your center of your new mark on your H panel. And boom, you got it right there. So what you're going to do is you're going to remove the 3M tape from the L side, the L bracket side. And you're going to remove that off. You're going to remove the red strips. Alright. You're going to remove the red strip from the 3M tape so that you can stick it on to the H panel. What I'm using is a little spike because it makes it easier for my fingers to pop that red tape off, that red strip. I know it's weird, but my fingers do not pinch like they used to, or I don't have enough nails. So I used a little spike to raise it a little. I usually have some magnifying glasses on, so I can see this better. What you want to do is once you got that off, okay, you got your LED strip, and you're going to center it like I showed you on your marks. You're going to drop it about 2 inches away from the top. Boom. Drop it down. And that's what it should look like. Okay? Your LED strip should be facing up, which will hit the marquee, which will be good. Now, I provided a little connector to hold your cable. Okay? This little connector right here. It's actually a wire holder, I guess you want to call it. Let me zoom into that so you can see. This is in the kit. Alright? And you're asking me right now, but what is that for, Angel? What do we need that? Well, let me tell you. What you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to put it around the end of the LED strip wire. Okay? And when you do that, you're going to click it all the way through, okay? Let me zoom in. I know I'm doing a lot of zooming in and out, alright? So what you're going to do is you're going to take that connector and you're going to squeeze it and click it all the way. You're going to hear it click. All the way. You see? Until you don't hear it click anymore. Then you're going to force that female connector end through that hole so that it holds it in place like that. Like so. You see that? Well, what are you doing now, Angel? What is that for? What is this for? Well, you want to have that wire secure onto your H panel, like so that anything connected to this end does not yank or pull or yank your wiring. So this is like an extra added support that I decided to give you. Okay? So you're going to peel the paper off and reveal the 3M part, and you're going to connect it. You can put it anywhere you want. You can put it down here in the center. Alright? And you're going to drop it down. Like so. Like that. Okay? You see that? You see what I did there? I connected that piece with that wire there. So now it gets pulled here and not up here. Okay? It gets pulled down here and you don't have to worry about it yanking the LED strip or anything like that. Alright? Now this LED strip that I'm using is one of my test LEDs. So there is a couple of lights that are blown out. I'm not going to use a brand new LED just to do this tutorial, because I rather save that for you guys as customers. So with a bad strip like this one, I decided to use it just to showcase how to install and connect all this stuff up. So yeah, there are a couple of lights that are blown, but it still will shine and you will get an effect out of this. But that is what that connector was for, okay? And like I said, you're gonna put it, you can put it by the H sticker or anything, and that's what it does. It supports it there, okay? So now let's take this H panel and put it back into the cabinet. Let me move myself around, pick up my screwdriver, put it there for now, okay? And let's bring the cabinet into shot. Alright, and now we're going to take our H panel and we're going to put it inside the cabinet. Like so. Okay? We're going to supply a little bit of separation pressure so that we can get this in there. Like so. We're going to start with one side. Let's get it in one side. Do a little bit of separation. If you want, you can loosen up the screws in the front a little bit. If you feel more comfortable doing so, you can do that. You might, help with the H panel a little bit. Alright, so we're in there. So there you go. Your H panel's in there. It's on the top. Everything's perfect. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your L panel and put it back in the bottom here. But before we do that, we're going to hook up the wiring. Alright? So, let's start with the harness. Okay. That's another wire that I forgot is inside the setup. I forgot to express the fact that you also get a power splitter. There you go. Sorry about that. You do get a power splitter with the kit. All kits come with a power splitter. Forgot to mention that in the beginning. Realizing that now. Okay, so we are all learning at the same time. I got the H panel in. What I recommend, okay, and I'm sorry I said it earlier, have the top screws loose a little bit. What you want to do is put the H panel in the groove on the top at an angle, and then come down with it at a 90-degree down slant. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put the marquee at the H panel at an angle, and then put it inside the top slot first, and then come down with it until it pops into the side, and then you're good to go. So we got the H panel in, and like I said before, the Y splitter for the power will be included in the kit. And I'm sorry I didn't say that earlier, but it will be included in all the kits, whether it's the new gen or the old gen. You definitely need the Y splitter. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your Y splitter, one male end, and plug it into your PCB board. Okay? And now we're gonna do the harness, because like I said, this is a stock cabinet, and you're gonna put in the harness on this. What you're gonna do is you're going to take your control panel off your cabinet by removing the 4 top screws. These are already, that's not. What you're gonna do is remove the 4 top screws. Now remember, this procedure here is only for a stock cabinet that is not modified. Okay? I provide this harness so that the marquee will go on and off with your stock power switch. Okay? So we're going to take the stock screws and put it on the side there. Take your control panel. Okay? Remove your IDE cable. And let's place the control panel here on the table that we're going to work on. Cabinet to the side. Alright. Let me bring the table. Okay, so you have your control panel, and you have your harness cable that I provided with the kit that we decide. Okay, now what you're going to do, alright, this requires a little bit of disassembly of your control panel. Alright? And what you want to have is your control panel facing with your IDE connection in front of you. Alright? We're going to remove the plastic cover of your control panel. Now, you guys don't have to do this. If you feel that you're unable to do this, it's fine. You don't have to buy the harness. You can go ahead and get the remote. It'll still be the same price. But if you get the harness and you want the remote on the side, then yes, it's an extra cost. Okay? I know it sounds a little stupid there, but think about it. You're getting the harness or you get the remote. But if you get both, it has to be a charge because I'm giving you an extra feature. Alright? But this ain't that hard, guys. This is not that hard. So you know, getting the harness with your kit, it's kind of cool because you're using your stock switch from your cabinet to turn on and off the marquee whenever you want to play. Okay? Turn this around. I'm going to remove all 6 screws from the plastic cover, and we're going to put it back on. It's not like we're going to leave it off. We just need to get into the board where the power switch is connected. Okay. Okay. Boom. Alright. And we remove the plastic cover, and we'll put that aside for now. What you want to do is you want to get into this board right here where your IDE cable is. Okay? You want to get to that board. Let me zoom in a little more. Okay? And you're looking for where your power switch is connected. Alright? So, let me lift this up a little so I can see. Look for it. They actually are labeled here, and you definitely can see them. Alright, so we got A, B, C, D, E, start player 1, start player 2, and the power. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to disconnect that from the board. Okay, see what I did? Let me zoom in there, guys. Now it may be different depending on what cabinet you're working with, but your connection should be a 2-wire connection, a two-prong connector. Okay, and then you got your power cable. What you want to do is you want to pull this so that you got enough slack. Okay, long enough so that you can run it out through your IDE area. I'll show you what I mean. You could actually, you don't have to pull it all the way out. Alright, if you notice what I did there, you could just pull it semi so that it still stays within the groove. But as long as you got enough connecting out. Alright? So you can, just enough to play with it there. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your harness cable. Now remember, at one end, there was a JST connection. Alright? One male connection. Let me zoom in again. One female. Once you separate these two, you got a female and a male connection. JST 2.5 connection. Okay? Alright? So what you're going to do is you're going to separate those two, and you're going to take your male connector and you're going to put it in where your power was on the board. Okay? That empty slot on the board, you're going to connect that in there. Okay? And what that does is it bridge the power connection to keep it constantly on. Okay? Because those two wires are soldered together. So right now your power is bridged on. So if I were to plug this in, my cabinet will automatically turn on. Alright? Now you're going to take your male from your power switch, and you're going to put back your board, your cover. Alright? You're going to put back your cover, and you want to run that wire through that empty box where your IDE connection is. Okay? And you want to let it stick out a little bit off to the side. Okay? Like so. Let me zoom in so that you can see what I'm talking about. Alright? Like that. You're going to let that power switch stick out of that connector, that area, just like that. So what you're going to do is you're going to screw back your board. Alright? Let's screw everything back. Take all 6 screws and put them back where they were. Leave that connector sticking out. You can even push it in a little bit. You know, it's up to you. Just leave it sticking out about 2 inches. 2.5 inches if you want it to stick out. So then you got your 6 screws. And you want to put them back and put this cover back on. There you go. Now you got your board, your control panel back together with that power cable sticking out 2.5 inches. Okay? That makes sense there? Alright. So now, you take the rest of your harness. Alright, and I've provided everything that you need. Okay? You're going to see a clip on the end of that harness where the female JST connector is. That's another clip I've added for support. Okay? Right there, you see it? And it stops right there where the heat shrink is. So you got your female connector, alright, and your clip. What you want to do is you want to put that clip somewhere you feel comfortable with. I mean, you can put it anywhere. You can put it here, alright? You can put it, stick it there, and then you connect those two there. Right? You can put it this way, alright? If you want to do it this way, even better. It's up to you. But either way, that's what that there is for. Extra support so that nothing is being tugged or pulled. So what you're going to do is you're going to remove this, the 3M strip, and you're going to stick this down any way you want. We're going to put it right there. Perfect. Right there. You see? And it's, you tug on it, and it's going to tug the clip. It's not going to tug the cable. It's not going to disconnect you. It's not going to do anything. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your male power switch connector and plug it into the female of the harness, and that's it. You leave it like that. Voila. Okay? Now let's put this back into the cabinet. Alright? And what you want to do is you're going to let that wire hang. Remember, you got that clip supporting it. Okay? And you're going to take your cabinet and you're going to connect it back up. Connect your IDE cable. Let that wire drop in there. You're going to connect your IDE cable. I find it easier when the J panel's out. This is your J panel. I find it easier to connect that cable back up when that's out. Okay? And there you go. Connect the IDE cable. Put back your J panel. Drop down your control panel and screw in your 4 holes, your 4 screws. Okay? We're going to leave it like that for now so that we can test everything out. So let's get into position so you guys can see better. Now, your harness, what that's going to do is you're going to connect it from your main power source in the female, and then your male connection goes into the splitter. Alright? So you take your male connection from your harness, connect it to the female connection on the Y splitter. Okay? And that is where your power gets cut off. Okay? You're getting your power cut off right there. Alright? If you only purchase the harness setup without the remote, you will get this male to female extender. What this does is it allows you to take the other male connection on your splitter, you connect it to the female connection to the extender, and then you take your male side and you connect it underneath the H panel where the LED light is at. Okay, boom. So now you have the power running from the harness, the splitter, PCB board, and the LED light. So now, let's take our main power and test our LED marquee. Okay? And this should work. So what you're going to do is You're going to take your main power, just for now. You don't have to connect your back panel yet. I know there's a extender there. You don't have to connect that yet. We're going to test everything out. You should automatically test your LED light when you get your Marquee from me. If there's a problem with the LED light, contact me immediately. Show me what's going on, and I will replace that LED light at no charge. But what you're going to do is you're going to take your main power cable and you're going to connect it to the female connection of the harness. Boom. And that should be working. Okay, so let's test that out. Let's turn the cabinet around. Alright. Let's hit that power switch and see if that Marquee lights up. Wow, yes it does. Let's shut some light off here so you guys can see. There we go. Alright, your Marquee is on. Let me back this up a little. Alright. Now you saw that. What I did was, there's a little sawdust on there. What I did was, I connected, let me back this up a little more. I don't know if it's okay, there you go. You see the Marquee. I know the camera doesn't show its justice. Okay, but the Marquee went on when I turned on and off the power switch, the main power switch on the cabinet. Turn it back on, your Marquee lights on. Okay? Marquee went up with. Alright? And that automatically turns on and off the Marquee with your cabinet. That is the harness set up for a stock cabinet that is not modified. Alright? Now, let's say you didn't order the harness and you ordered the remote. I can't show you that now because I've already put the harness on. I should have showed you that earlier. But if you just order the remote, okay, the Marquee will not turn on with the stock power switch. It will turn on and off with the remote. So I could do that and show you how that is now. Let me turn the light on so you can see. Okay. Now, when you buy the remote kit, you don't get the extender cable because you don't need it. The remote receiver is long enough to act as the extender cable. Okay? So you don't get the extender cable when you order the remote setup. Okay? So this cable is not in that kit. It comes only if you do the harness alone. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the remote receiver and you're going to take the female end and connect it to the splitter. Okay? And you take the male end and you connect it to the LED light. Boom. Alright? So that should be working. Once you turn on the main power on the Marquee, it should turn on your Marquee. Alright? Let's get the little remote that comes with the kit. Alright? This is the little remote that comes with your kit when you buy the remote setup. And that gives you extra features on your LED light, like turning it on and off. Alright? Let me hit the light here. Alright? This remote turns on and off the Marquee. It dims it from 100 to, what is that, 50? 25. Dim, dim. Okay? You can also do a strobe I don't know if you want to do that. That's not something I would do. Alright. You can turn that off by hitting the green button saying light. And you can turn it off by the remote. Now, let me give you guys another note. When you do the harness and the remote setup, okay? Remember I said earlier, automatically if your cabinet is stock, you will get a harness kit with your Marquee, unless you tell me otherwise and say no, I don't want the harness, just give me the remote. Alright? The price will stay the same. It'll only go up $5 when you combine the two. When you combine the harness with the remote. If not, you either take the remote or you take the harness. It's totally up to you. Alright? When you do the harness and the remote setup, what you gotta remember is that if you turn off your Marquee with the remote, alright, like I just did, and your cabinet's still on and you're playing and you wanna continue playing, you don't want that Marquee on, and you shut off your cabinet with the main switch, like so, you know, come the next day and you wanna play, and you turn it on, and your cabinet goes on, and your Marquee does not go on, you need to remember you shut it off with the remote. If you shut it off with the remote before you shut the system, it'll stay continuously off until you turn it back on with the remote. So there you go. You turn it back on with the remote. You can put the remote away if you don't want any other features. Like if you just want to dim it down, it'll stay dim the way you set it every time. Okay? So let's say you want to shut it off again. It'll shut off the system and your Marquee at the same time. Turn it back on. It'll turn on your Marquee and your system at the same time. Okay? So that's really about it. That is my setup. That is my connection. And those are my options. Message me if you have any other questions. Forgive me if this video has gone so long, but there was a lot of steps I had to take. Now remember, for a non-modded cabinet, the harness is a stock option to turn on and off the Marquee with the power switch. It's not hard to do. You saw that I did it on the video. You can do it yourself. It's really simple and easy. Now, if you don't want the harness and you just want the remote feature, I'll send you that kit and you'll just do the remote only. No harness, but it will not turn on and off the Marquee unless you use the remote to turn it on and off. Okay? Now, if you do a combination of both, the Marquee remote and the harness, if you combine the both, it's going to be a $5 upcharge. Alright? That's because you're taking both. If not, you take either or and it'll stay the same. And that'll be that. But that's mostly my setup for the Gen 1. Now, let me shut this down. Let me turn on the light. And let's get to the Gen 2 Marquee. Now, I'm not going to install a Gen 2 Marquee for the simple fact that I don't have a Gen 2 cabinet. I only have the Gen 1s, but the concept is still the same. The only difference is on the new Gen 2 cabinets, the Marquee setup is on the new control board, the CPB board, the PCB board, I'm sorry. And it automatically works with that. You can also do a remote for the Gen 2 cabinets, like the Turtle, the Marvel, and the Costco Home Combat. You can also do a remote on those and get the extra features like the dimming and all that, and you'll be good to go. Alright, so let's get to the Gen 2 cabinet and those marquees. The only difference with the Gen 2 cabinets and those marquees is they have a dual speaker setup on the fronts, underneath the marquee. Okay? But that doesn't mean that it was any different to set up to connect a marquee on those cabinets. So what I'm about to show you is what I did. This is a mock-up panel of the Gen 2 cabinet, alright? With the speaker holes and the holes for that bracket. There's a bracket that's in the middle of the marquee, alright? That goes connected to this panel. As a matter of fact, let me get that. I have a Gen 2 marquee. Here's a Gen 2 marquee. It's the actual Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle marquee. Okay. I was given this by another member on Facebook, and he was not going to use it, so he gave it to me. And I took it so that I could analyze it and see what I could do with it. And what this is, it comes with 2 holes on the dead center of the marquee. Okay? For a bracket that goes there. Let me see if I can find that bracket. Okay, so like I said, there are 2 holes on the original TMT marquee on the Gen 2 cabinets, or the Gen 3 cabinets, I think they are. Okay? And those 2 holes are for this bracket. Okay? Like so. Let me screw this in so you guys can see that. Alright. Screw these in so you can see what I'm talking about. Alright. And if you remember, when you put your cabinet, your Turtle cabinet, or your Marvel cabinet, or your Mortal Kombat Costco cabinet, you put this bracket on here so that you could attach it to the speaker panel like so. Like that. Okay? You guys can see that? Right there, like so. Alright? But unfortunately, my marquee does not have that ability to put that bracket because it's a frame. So there's no way for that bracket to go there. Alright? So what I did was I created my own little L-shaped bracket that I will be providing with the kit. Okay? It's about a 1/2 inch on one end and a whole inch on the other, and some 3M tape in the front. Okay? What you want to do is, when you take off your original Turtle marquee or Marvel marquee or your Mortal Kombat from Costco marquee, we're talking about the Gen 3 cabinets with the speaker set up in the front. What you're going to do is, when you remove the marquee, you remove it with the bracket off on the speaker side. So you're taking off the whole marquee like this with that bracket off. You don't need it. Alright? And you put it aside and you hang it up as wall art or whatever. And you're going to take my new bracket that I provided with your kit. And you want to take the original screws, obviously. I should have said that. You want to take your original screws from that bracket that's on the original marquee. Alright. like so. You don't need the bracket, you don't need the Marquee, you just need the original screws. And you're going to put them in you're going to use them to put in the new bracket that I supplied. Okay, like so. And do both sides. Now I understand why that bracket is there. It's for extra support for the front of the Marquee, which is perfect because we need that. But like I said, I don't have a full, it's not a full Marquee, it's a frame. So now you got your new bracket on your panel, like so, with the 3M tape in the front. Okay? Now, your panel, I think it's the M panel, if I'm not mistaken. I gotta double check. But your panel in the front has two holes where the dowels are sticking out. The wooden dowels. Okay? That panel with the speakers have two holes in the front with the wooden dowels. Let me zoom out a little. Two holes on both ends, on either end where your wooden dowels are sticking out. Okay? Your original dowels on that original panel. Now you have the new bracket that I supplied, and you have your original dowels. Now, the difference between the Gen 1 Marquees that I made, the Mach 2s, and these are now the Mach 3 Marquees, and they're all universal. I don't have two different sets. The only thing I've done is made extra holes so that I can convert them to either the Gen 3 cabinets or the Gen 2 or Gen 1 cabinets. And those holes, you don't see them all. They'll get covered with the framing, the brackets that I have. The two end holes have the holes for the dowels. So what you can do is take your original dowels off that panel, put them inside new Marquee like so. Okay, so that they stick out like this. They won't go all the way through. They'll just stick out like that. And then you're gonna take off your 3M tape off the new bracket. Okay, you're gonna take off the strip, the red strip from the 3M tape on your new bracket. Okay, then you're gonna place this inside with your new with the dowels, and it should fit perfectly. And your bracket, your new bracket, should tighten snugly to your new Marquee, and it should fit like so. Now all of this gets done, and I'm sorry I can't show you because I don't have the cabinet, gets done when you remove the original Marquee and you put in the new one that you purchased. And look at that. This image was done and created, okay? Not created. This image was touched up and done by Mr. Prophet, okay? And I'm telling you, when the light hits this, the detail in this is ridiculous, okay? The detail in this turtle Marquee is outrageous. He put in a good amount of hours into the, touching this up and cleaning it up and making it look crisp. Okay, so when you put the light on to it, the LED light, it is crystal clear. Alright? So now you have your new Marquee inside your new cabinet. Now, like I said before, you're going to follow the same procedures you did for putting on the LED light on the H panel. Okay, the only difference is this LED light comes with the male connector on one end, and I will supply the adapter. Alright? The adapter, you got a male connector on one end and the adapter. And this should fit perfectly into your new PCB board. There you go. PCB board. Okay? And it'll light up just fine. Again, whenever you buy a Marquee from me, test the lights first before you install anything. Always test the lights. I test the lights before I send them out, and I know they work, but God knows what happens when it gets there. We don't know what happens with the postal service, how they're treating the package. So if the light is not working, please show me some kind of proof. If there's a couple of lights that are dead or done, or it's not even going on, or it's acting retarded, please show me that proof, and I will send you a new LED light free of charge. So this is your Gen 3 setup. Again, I've supplied the new bracket that'll give that support onto that speaker board. Alright, and when you take this apart, you unscrew it. That 3M tape is going to hold that bracket there in place. Okay, so you can take it all out with the bracket and everything. Alright, and that should be good. So what you're going to do is, what I'm going to do is remove this. Alright, I'm going to remove this. Alright, nothing gets screwed in unless only the side screws that are supplied with the kit. The side screws are the only thing that gets screwed in. Nothing gets screwed into the speaker board. And you got that 3M tape. And I've made the cut for that bracket. I know it doesn't look pretty. This is only a mock-up so that I can see where I got to cut it. Don't worry, you won't see all that. All these little silver markings that you see here is for my purpose, so that I know where to cut the bracket, where to Dremel the bracket, so that it has the hole showcasing the hole. You won't see this at all. This is all in the back of the Marquee. So this is only for my purpose. I'm sorry it doesn't look cosmetically nice on the back, but it's easier for me to see it that way so that I can cut that. Now let me show you one last thing about my Marquee, and I will let you guys go because it's been long enough. My Marquees are film removable. I know that made no sense. You can remove the image. Alright? What I mean is, if you want to replace another image and take this out, and you want to purchase another image from me, or maybe you want to purchase another image from somebody else, just make sure you got the right dimensions. Okay, measure it out, give them the right dimensions, and you can totally remove this. Let me show you how. Alright? If you order a Marquee from me and you don't tell me that you're going to remove the image and you're going to leave it as is, I put 3M tape on the bottom bracket just for support. Okay? 3M tape will be inside the bottom bracket only if you tell me that you're not, removing the image. But let's say you say to me, Angel, I want to buy a Marquee from you, but I want to be able to interchange the image. Can I buy the Marquee with a couple of images? And I won't put the 3M tape on the bottom bracket, which is fine. I just do that for my comfort and extra support. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the bracket off. That's bottom bracket. This is top bracket. And you got the two sides. That's it. And you got your plexi that sandwiches it. Okay, put this aside, and then you got your film. You can replace the film, change it out for whatever you want, put in something different. Okay? Now, when you're putting it back together, I would advise you have either a spray can of air so you don't get no dust in it, no dust on your plexi. And you put it back together by sandwiching the image with the plexi and the frame. Start with your side brackets. You should be able to see more or less how it goes. Okay. Side brackets. Okay. Then I do the bottom bracket with the holes in the back. Okay? You don't have to fix it just yet. Just wait till you got everything together. Put it back in. Now the top bracket. Alright? Now you fix it up. You want to do it, just line everything up, make it nice and neat. You'll notice it in the front. You can do it with your hand and pressure everything. Push everything down, sandwich it down. Okay, you may notice that there's a little extra. Even it out as best as you can. Trust me, when you put it on the cabinet, it will tighten everything up. Okay? Alright? Even though it looks like a little bit on each side, even it out. And that's it. Alright? That is your Light Up Marquee Gen 3 Teenage Turtles. That's it for that. Now, one more other thing that I needed to mention. Alright? I do the color frames for the Marquees. And I charge $8 to do the whole 4. Top, bottom, left, and right. Okay? It's just a little extra work. It's totally worth it. I mean, but I think $8 is a fair price. And I do the top, bottom, left, and right, all around. And what I provide is the basic colors. For now, I have pink, green, red, blue, and yellow. I've done some Marquees already with these colors. Hopefully when they get them, they'll post the pictures and you'll see those. But what I do is I take the bigger one, and I do the top and bottom, and the little one, I do the side. So I have 2 rows here, the big one and the little one. You have I think it's a full inch. I do on the top, ½ inch on the side, only because they don't get seen more. But they got the yellow, the blue, the red, the green, and the pink I've done for Miss Pac-Man. And I have to say, it was amazing, and it looked perfect. Well, guys, that's it for now. I've made this video long enough. Hopefully, you guys will watch it through. If not, I will leave a counter on the description in the bottom so you can get to exactly what you want to learn. Thank you guys again. I appreciate all you've given me and all you've accepted me into the group. And I hope to hear from you guys soon. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to look me up on Facebook. It's Angel A. Otero Jr. My channel on YouTube is This Ability. I'll leave a link at the bottom, or if you're watching it on YouTube now, you know, you're right in the right spot. Also, like I said, any questions you need, don't be afraid to ask. If I am online, I will answer as soon as possible. And again, thank you again. I appreciate it. Love you guys. Take care.